Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be back. You are with the Racing Statistics YouTube channel. My name is Evan. I will be your commentator for the day as we get ready for the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race. Hopefully, this will be a good one. I'm praying it will be. I trust it will be. With the fast starting Ferraris, you could only imagine that they'll probably make it at least a little bit entertaining. I should have you all here. If you are in the chat, give us a hello. We are currently 20 minutes away from the start of the formation lap for the sprint race, which is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this. This will be my first kind of racing session. I've commentated a qualifying session, a free practice session, of course, preseason testing for 4 hours straight, as much as it killed me. But I've never commentated a race, or a race of any sort, whether it be sprint or Grand Prix. But I will get, of course, that opportunity this weekend. I will be joining you for the Grand Prix and qualifying this afternoon, this afternoon for some people, this evening. For me, various different times for everyone. I have a lot of thanks for everyone who's stayed up to watch this, gotten up to watch this. It is much appreciated. I hope Max will win. Well, Max will definitely have his work cut out for him. That's for sure. Starting P8, if I'm not wrong. So he'll have to work his way up the field. Of course, he will be scoring 1 point with where he's starting currently. Sprint format, it's P1 gets 8 points, P2 7 points, all the way down to P8 getting 1 point. Predictions: George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris as the podium. So interesting. That'll be, of course, Charles Leclerc P6 to P2 and Norris staying in P3. Definitely think it's possible. Personally, I would bet my money on Hamilton getting up there. He had the better start of the two of them when he was headed out in Australia. He had the better start. Of course, he started 7th, and I think he ended up. He was P3 by the end of the first lap, whilst Charles was just P4 to P2. So Lewis had the better start, so I could see him now that he's starting slightly further up the grid. I could see him leading into turn 1, trusting that the Ferrari dominance is quite as big as it has been. Vancouver, Canada, 7:41 p.m. That's not too bad. Good to see it's not too bad for some people. 5 a.m. That is quite rough. You're all starting to understand what it's like to be an Australian. No, I kid. Mario Kart, yeah, Mario Kart tournaments aren't that bad of a watch. It could be a lot worse. But no, I do agree. We do need to try to try to make the racing more real, I guess is how I put it. 3 a.m. here from Athens. Thank you so much for watching. And I don't know if you've stayed up or gotten up. I hope you've gotten up so you can actually get some sleep. The Ferrari pit wall can't get in Leclerc's way. Hopefully not. I hope they don't. Yes. Now, I'm going to just give some updates from what I saw, because I'm watching the live broadcast. I saw some very interesting things happening. Pierre Gasly on his reconnaissance lap, he locked up into turn 6, I believe it was, where Lewis Hamilton had a bit of a spin. I think Bortoleto also locked up. So that's proving to be a challenging corner for a lot of people. And on his reconnaissance lap, he locked up on a set of softs. On top of that, I believe it was Alex Albon I saw, who also, for those unaware, will be starting from the pit lane after an engine change. I believe. Oh, sorry. So I just had something weird happen on mine. I think we're all good. What was I saying? I've blanked on what I was saying. Goodness me. Anyways, we'll turn back to the chat. Keep you guys entertained. Oh yes, sorry, Albon. Thank you. Williams did an engine component change on Albon's car, so he will be starting from the pit lane, which probably means he won't be scoring any points. But then again, I'm fairly certain he was starting like 18th. So I don't think points were really on the. Yeah, it was Valentine, so 18th. So points really weren't on the cards for him, anyways. Which, yeah, it's unfortunate. Williams have been rather disappointing because, I mean, you look at that, you would pretty much say they were the third slowest car. Which, of course, not what anybody wants to see. No one wants to see them this far off the pace because Williams are a sort of team we all want to see at the front of the grid. I don't think anyone. Being in the pit's latest fashion, clearly it is. I don't understand why Alex Albon would do it otherwise. Yes, Alex. I did also see he got a warning for not following the race director's instructions, which that's a bit of a concern. You don't want to be starting from the pit lane and also be getting like a drive-through penalty in a sprint race. Dare I say, you might start dead last in that scenario. Now, I'm seeing some more predictions. My predictions, I'm hmm, I'm gonna predict that Russell and Antonelli will finish 1 and 2. And Hamilton will make his way up to P3. FIA stewards incidents involving car 10 Gasly will be investigated after the sprint unsafe conditions. I do know what that was about. So that was when he left the pit lane, similar to what happened to Kimi Antonelli in qualifying in Australia. He was sorry, he was had something in his car. I don't know exactly what, but I saw it fly out. And that's not good. People won't be too happy about that. Yes, we see we've got a poll there. Which team will win the sprint race? Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull. Feel a bit robbed. What if I think Pierre Gasly's going to win? Dare I say he's probably not. I mean, if Pierre Gasly does, I'm not going to be the person to complain about that. We've got Mercedes, rather unsurprisingly, leading the poll, with Ferrari second, then McLaren and Red Bull tied. McLaren's just pulled ahead. I was going to say, McLaren are starting third and fifth, and you're saying that you think it's just as likely that they'll win as a team who's starting 8th and 10th. Dare I say that's probably not gonna happen. We are just approaching 10 minutes out before the start of the first sprint race of the season and the continuation of the World Championship. I saw a stat recently, which would be very cool. So if George Russell, something goes wrong for him in today's sprint, whether he doesn't finish or he spins on the opening lap or something. Anyway, he finishes out of the points and Antonelli wins. Kimi Antonelli will set the record as being the youngest driver ever to lead the World Championship, which I think would be a really cool record to see Kimi take. Of course, he's got the record for being the youngest driver to lead a racing lap. He achieved that in Japan last year. And he's got record for, I believe, the youngest driver to get a fastest lap. Unfortunately, when he likely gets his first Grand Prix win, I would say it's pretty inevitable. He'll be going from, he won't quite be achieving the youngest driver to ever win a race. That still is comfortably held by Max Verstappen. Probably continue to be held by Max Verstappen quite some time. Now, I do apologize if my commentary isn't perfectly synced. What's on the stream? I'll do my best to sync it up because, of course, I'm watching a live broadcast to commentate for you all, so I can give some accuracy. But it might be a tad bit ahead of the stream, and I'm also lagging a little bit. It's not helping. I've intentionally tried not to use the internet too much today to make sure it'll hold together, but it's still not quite there. So if my voice lags out a little bit, I do apologize. Doing the best I can. Russell or Antonelli? I mean, you'd have to. Russell, a little bit of me thinks that he's not even fully pushing yet. He's a terrifying thought that Russell's not giving it 100% yet. I wouldn't say it's impossible that he's not giving 100% yet. So hopefully, I personally I hope he's not, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. And the moment Russell feels like, from my understanding, in Australia, the reason Antonelli closed up that gap is because of the fact that Russell wasn't giving it 110%, approaching the end of the race. And personally, as someone who was sat off turn 14, got to watch Australian Grand Prix in person, it didn't look like the body language of the car wasn't quite as aggressive as Antonelli's was. He was still pushing very hard. I hope Sebastian Vettel wins. I would love it if Sebastian Vettel won too. But dare I say, might not happen. Japan is a 5 a.m. wake up too. It'll be around the same, yes. I don't know off the top of my head if Shanghai and or closest big cities, Osaka, are going to be in the same. I don't know if they're in the exact same time zone, but they're very close. So it'll either be a 5 or 6 a.m. wake up, which is rough. What with Racing Bulls cars? Your downforce maps has poor data and they top speeds at this track. Well, honestly, I don't know. It could just be setup stuff. I mean, the thing is, we as fans have been given such little data about these cars where it's a bit hard to work out anything. Genuinely can't even tell you what speed they're at when they brake for the hairpin turn 14. I couldn't tell you because of the fact that they're not showing it to us anymore because they're embarrassed over the fact they are going so slowly into that corner. So I can't tell you all of the data. So I'm not totally sure. I can't give you quite that specific as to why a team will be going that much slower. I can tell you is that they are. I have the best PU this season. Ferrari fanboys can now to end lol. I think they kind of balance out a little bit, in my opinion. The Mercedes power units are good are kind of good over a race distance. They're good down the straights, basically. They go down the straights. Plus the Ferrari power units, very good for race starts and will be good for tracks like Monaco, like Hungary, like I'm trying to think of some other examples. Because they'll probably be all right. As the sorry, just having some internet issues. Whereas the whereas the Mercedes power units, they'll probably be stronger around Las Vegas. So of course, Saudi Arabia, if we do end up going to Saudi Arabia, they'll be strong around those sorts of circuits where there are a lot of straights, and being fast down a straight matters a lot, which is also a reason I think they were quite good around Australia, because not a lot of heavy braking zones where the Ferrari power unit can gain that advantage, and the Mercedes power unit is gains those advantages down the straight. See if we can't get ourselves there. I'm just having some internet issues. I'm going to try to kick a family member off the internet. If I'm me being 2 seconds, I'll be back in no time. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Hopefully, I will lag a little bit less now because it's impacting my broadcast as well. My broadcast is lagging, which means that I could be seeing two people going side by side, and I won't know until it's a bit too late whether they've crashed or not. So hopefully it pulls itself together and can get a bit better an idea of what's going on. Maybe the low power is due to the small turbo compared to the Mercedes engine. From my understanding, yes, that's it. From my understanding, smaller turbos basically means they can get going quicker, so their acceleration is better. But once they're at top speed, it's not quite as good. From my very loose understanding of how engines work. So that's why you see the Ferrari so good off the race start, is because that's acceleration based. Whereas the Mercedes, once they're up at speed, They're really good at holding it. Okay. What time is the race starting? The race start is. I do not remember. I'm really sorry. I should have it saved somewhere. Let me go get it up for you. So it says 6 p.m. tomorrow for me. So in roughly 28 hours from now. Roughly 28 hours from now is when the race will start. Of course, the sprint will start in 5 minutes' time, or 4 minutes now, as we continue to tick down. Oh, my clock's slightly ahead of the stream, because of course the stream keeps lagging for me. Try to catch that up. There we go. Okay, I'm a bit closer now. What's actually going on? He's hoping I can have this problem maybe a little bit sorted by the afternoon. Or qualifying, which I'm not quite as excited for qualifying sessions as I used to be, which is a bit of a shame because, of course, it's a bit hard to watch a qualifying session and hear the engines revving down as they're going flat out down a straight. Much time until the sprint. You can see we've got the sprint starts in time, which on my end at least says 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So that's what I would assume it will be. Max is my favorite. I couldn't have guessed from your prior comments. I kid. Max, I think he's done quite well. I also think Hajar's done quite well because the Red Bull clearly does not have the pace it had in Albert Park today, or yesterday for that matter, or for the whole weekend, really. So we'll be hoping to improve on that. Honestly, there was a bit there where I was really thinking that Hajar might out-qualify Verstappen pace, which would be very exciting for him. Go Williams, sip that coffee like a boss. I think they're going to have to be sipping a little bit more than coffee to quite see the level of success they're going to need to win here. I'm just seeing the F1 intro is beginning, so that means we can't be far away. And I can try to sync up the broadcast. Goodness me, I'm lacking. This is rather unfortunate. No rain. Yes, correct. No rain for the whole weekend from my understanding. So we should be all good to go. And also, it's just popped into my head. Of course, yesterday we saw the Ferrari Macarena wing, but unfortunately we will not have that for this session as they decided that it wasn't quite working how they wanted it. So they will probably push it back until Canada, which was when I believe they intended to bring it out. No rain, no singing. None, yes. Now then, let's see if we can try to get a little bit closer to the times. Now I'm just looking at some tyre compounds. Isaac Hajar on soft tyres. Lawson on hard. Signs on hards. And everyone else is on mediums. I trust that these are the cars. Oh, sorry, cars. I trust that these are the tyres that they will be using. But, of course, I'm not 100%. No rain, no rainbow. Unfortunately so. There are no rainbows visible from the Shanghai International Circuit. Which is a shame. I think a rainbow would be quite pretty right now. Soon, who do you think will win? I think Max. Max is going to have his work cut out for him. I wouldn't quite bet on him. So I just, early on in this season, I think betting on Mercedes is probably the shout. Now we'll go through the grid one more time. Alex Albon is starting from the pit lane, and Sergio Perez will be lining up on the back grid by himself in 21st. Valtteri Bottas 20th, and Lance Stroll 19th. Then we will have Fernando Alonso starting P18 on a set of hard compound tyres, alongside Carlos Sainz, also on a set of hard compound tyres. Then we will have Franco Colapinto and Arvid Lindblad. Of course, Lindblad having that issue in pre-practice 1. Needs to get some practice at this circuit. Gabriel Bortoleto starts 14th alongside Liam Lawson in 13th. Then Esteban Ocon and Nico Hulkenberg, who missed out on SQ3 by 0.015 seconds. Isaac Hajar P10 with Ollie Behrman P9. A very strong performance from the British driver. Max Verstappen will be starting P8, which I imagine he'll want to get a bit further up the order. Pierre Gasly, a very strong P7. Charles Leclerc with some issues in qualifying, P6, and Oscar Piastri, P5, not quite getting that lap together. Lewis Hamilton, a very respectable P4, with Lando Norris showing his way as a world champion in P3, and who could have guessed, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell lining up P2 and P1 on the grid respectively to lead us away on those medium tyres, which I would imagine they are starting on. As we see the results from the poll, it says 57% Mercedes, 30% Ferrari, 7% Red Bull, 6% McLaren. I still think it's crazy that you think there's a higher chance someone starting 8th is going to win this sprint race over someone starting 3rd. But Max or Isaac win this, you won't catch me complaining. I think it'll be a story for the ages. Hope Verstappen won't crash into Gasly. They're both very capable drivers. I trust they will not hit each other. Formation lap. Oh goodness, am I lagging that bad? Well, I haven't even seen the start of the formation lap. Oh good lord, I am. That's splendid. I'm so sorry, people. The formation lap is underway. Oh yes, it's 2:01. I should trust the formation lap would be underway. Just trying to catch my live broadcast up to what the stream's doing. It's not helping when they're both lagging at the same time. I might be a tiny bit behind the stream or terribly ahead of it. I fear there won't be an in-between. I might try Oh, hang on. Gotta catch the stream up. Goodness me, this is terrible. Seeing all the cars getting away happily. Doesn't look like we have any issues. There we go. Okay. And all right, just setting up. Oh goodness, I'm behind the stream now. That's how bad I'm lagging. Okay. I'm roughly in sync with the stream now. So this will hold for a bit, and now it's lagged. So it's not holding up anymore. Hopefully I can keep loosely in sync with what's going on. But if my commentary is a bit off, I do apologize. Penalize Antonelli for the blocking quality. No, I agree. That is a bit ridiculous. It was a very blatant block. I don't think it was malicious, but it was a very definitive block. And there's been nothing done about it, which I think is a bit horrendous. Gasly's yesterday was marginal, but I would say that really Antonelli should have seen a 3-place grid drop. Frozen still, that's probably lag on your end, because for once it's actually flowing neatly for me as George Russell lines up into position as I lag again. Absolutely splendid. I'm just going to go off the live pictures, not look at the stream too much, and trust that the stream is lagging and that my live pictures are close enough to what's happening. You see the front row are both lined up on the grid as they slowly filter in, doing some burnouts to keep those tires nice and warm. They can all try to get the best start possible. Am I lagging that badly? Hang on. Something. Hang on. Okay. I'm going to ignore the stream. The stream is lagging quite badly for me. I'm actually going to shut the stream to go off the live pictures. So I'm terribly sorry if it's a bit off sync. We're seeing Alex Albon rolling down to the end of the pit lane. We have the green flag at the back of the grid. We are about to see the blue lights on the side of the pit wall come on. Tell the drivers to start revving their engines. Restart has begun. And we are about to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are go for the sprint. And Lewis Hamilton's already got a brilliant start. That's Antonelli, who's slowed down on the grid already. Lando Norris is also looking good. But George Russell leads in the first corner. Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton. Then Charles and Oscar. Oh, getting Oscar's very wide. Pierre Gasly's had a rocketing start. He's not far off the back of Piastri as they lead nice and neatly through the first 3 corners. Behrman of Verstappen, one of the Red Bulls has a horrendous start. There's a Red Bull currently fighting a Cadillac at the back of the grid. We are currently George Russell, then Lewis Hamilton, then Lando Norris. As we see all Behrman and Gasly going wheel to wheel. Oh, there was contact between one of the Red Bulls and Antonelli. I don't know which Red Bull it is. I'm trying to have a look, but it's quite hard to see. We're not having a brilliant angle. Oscar's now on the back of Lando for what I believe is P3. Now, as Hamilton goes for the move on George Russell, Lewis Hamilton's moved up into the lead of the Chinese sprint race. With Charles Leclerc now in third, Oscar Piastri just on the back. As George Russell pulls out to try to have a look, he doesn't go for it. Pierre Gasly is up into P6, I believe that would be. As, yes, I believe... Oh, contact, one of the racing wheels. Is that Lindblad or Lawson? I can't. I'm so sorry. I cannot. It's Lindblad. Lindblad has spun at the back of the grid. That is a yellow flag. Looks like he should be able to get going, but we have a fight for the lead of this race. George Russell goes up the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Can Lewis Hamilton fight back? George Russell has taken the lead back of the Chinese Grand Prix. Not Chinese Grand Prix, sorry, Chinese Sprint, as Lewis Hamilton is still with him, so we could come back down the main straight. Oh, it was Verstappen who dropped down the grid. It was Hadjar who made contact with Antonelli. Verstappen is P15. Sorry, I'm just getting the timing table now. Lewis Hamilton is very close to the rear of George Russell. George Russell defends. Lewis Hamilton sweeps around the outside of turn 1 to take the lead of the sprint race. Again, Charles Leclerc on the rear of both of them. Norris and Piastri are very close through these corners. As Gasly is P6, Behrman P7, and Antonelli P8. This is a mighty fight. Lando slow out of turn 3. Piastri could mug him if he's smart about it. Yes, we're seeing Hadjar is doing quite nicely on the soft compound tires, how he's likely to struggle approaching the end. Who's that? That's Kimi Antonelli diving up the inside of Ollie Behrman. He gets the move done for P7 as Behrman drops to P8. Still not a bad start from P9 for the British driver. Looking further down the grid, there's calm down for the minute up the lead. Oh, Antonelli's going for the move on Gasly. He's done it up the inside. Very nicely done as we see Hulkenberg and Perez swapping positions further down the order. Hulkenberg's had a horrendous start. He started 11th. He's now 19th. Lindblad, of course, is last after his spin on the opening lap through turn 12, 13. As we see, George Russell is once again trying to size up a move possibly on Lewis Hamilton. Seeing the batteries, Hamilton has more save than Russell. Russell moves to the inside to have a look. He's not quite there, but he could definitely get the move done down into the first corner if he's wise about it. But he's got to be careful because Charles Leclerc is right behind him. And if George makes a mistake, you best believe that Charles Leclerc will capitalize. We are currently Lewis Hamilton P1, George P2, and Leclerc P3. It's Carl Sainz and Max Verstappen are fighting. Verstappen gets the move done as we see into Charles Leclerc's mighty close. He's thinking about gaining position as Lewis Hamilton's that's the fastest lap of the race, so 1:37.473. What can Charles Leclerc do? He runs a bit wider off the corner exit, as I've seen him do a couple laps now. The gap between Hamilton and Russell is 0.5 seconds, and then Leclerc is another 1.2 seconds off his teammate. Things are starting to calm down a little bit, but what an opening lap. Lewis Hamilton from P4 to P1. Hadjar Antonelli incident, turn 6 collision under investigation. I'm not surprised that was pretty bad. Russell is closing in a bit through the middle sector. It's roughly sitting at 0.6, 0.5 seconds. You see further down the order, Verstappen's trying to make up those positions he's lost. Antonelli is getting close to the rear of Piastri and Norris. He'll have to be smart about it because these are fast guys. He doesn't want to make a mess trying to get past these guys. Of course, one of them, either Antonelli or Hadjar, has damage. Now we look off the rear wing of Lewis Hamilton as we go down the main straight. George Russell is closing. He's closing like there's no tomorrow. George Russell goes up the inside along the straight. George Russell takes the lead back from Lewis Hamilton. But Lewis Hamilton again closes up into the braking of the corner. Charles Leclerc's not far behind them either. As we continue to accelerate and as the broadcast continues to lie to us about their top speeds, because they refuse to unfreeze them for some reason, Nico Hulkenberg passes Lance Stroll, probably the easiest move of his career, as Lewis Hamilton now follows George Russell and Charles Leclerc follows them. Hamilton goes for a move around the outside again of George Russell into the first corner, but he's run wide. George Russell fights back into turn 2. Oh, Hamilton just has the position. Lewis Hamilton again leads as Verstappen lower down the order passes Colapinto for 13th, trying to recover his way up into the points. And as Russell's very close towards turn 6, Hamilton moves over to defend. Russell doesn't quite go for it. Leclerc is now very close to the pair of them. Anything goes wrong, and Leclerc will pick up the pieces as Norris is somewhat holding up Piastri and Antonelli from what I'm seeing, as they are both falling away from this top 3 group. As we see, I think it might be Hadjar who has the serious damage. He's struggling to hang on to Behrman on a better compound tyre. That would lead me to believe that it is damage for Hadjar. Leclerc is Leclerc's closer to Russell than Russell is to Hamilton. Hamilton is looking mighty right now. This is the Lewis Hamilton we've wanted to see for the past 4 years. And now we're getting to see it go wheel to wheel with his old teammate at Mercedes. Seeing Antonelli closing on Piastri as Russell closes on Hamilton and Leclerc closes on Russell. Piastri's going to have to get this move done soon on Norris if he's not careful, as Antonelli has a look for the move, but it's defended by Piastri. As Antonelli into the final corner, he gets the move done on Piastri. Piastri's going to fight back, but it is. And at the front of the lead, Russell goes for it around the outside. Hamilton keeps it in there. Russell takes the not quite. Russell can't quite take that lead as Hadjar and Gasly are fighting further down the order for the final points paying position. Piastri's gotten back past Antonelli for P5. What a race so far. How are we only on lap 5? This is absolute chaos. Piastri's lost out massively to Norris because of that fight with Antonelli. He's going to have to be careful into turn 6. Just getting a replay of the race start. So I can't tell you exactly what's happening. Yes, Antonelli, horrendous start again. And Verstappen, that was Verstappen genuinely making a mistake on the opening lap. Just getting some more live pictures. Piastri ran very wide. Yes, that was a terrible start for Verstappen. He'll be hoping to not repeat that tomorrow for the Grand Prix. Just getting an onboard from Lewis Hamilton's race start. He just coasted up to the back of Antonelli. I must say the McLaren of Lando Norris also got a very respectable start. But, yes, Lewis Hamilton through that first corner. Sliding his way through, getting an onboard of Max Verstappen now as George Russell's closing up to the back of Lewis Hamilton, approaching turn 14. George Russell goes for the move. They're side by side. Lewis Hamilton keeps it in there. Charles Leclerc's right beside him. Doesn't quite get the move done as Antonelli now also looks for the move on Piastri further down the road. But George Russell now leads the sprint as we approach lap 6 of this race. Charles Leclerc is very close to the back of Lewis Hamilton. We know he won't wait for Lewis Hamilton. He will just go for it if he thinks it's there. But he doesn't into turn 1. Taking a swig. Never mind. Up the inside of turn 2. Charles Leclerc has a look. He doesn't quite go for it. Antonelli, again, not quite able to get past Oscar Piastri, who's defending hard for P5, but he's losing out massively. He's 1.6 seconds off his teammate, who's then 2 seconds off these leaders. This is incredible racing. I don't care if you think it's artificial. This is entertaining. As Piastri continues to defend from Antonelli, it's getting very hard up there. Verstappen's slowed down a bit on his charge up through the field. He's currently sat behind Bortoletto, who's in a respectable P12. I think he started P14 from memory. As Hadjar is just closing in a bit on Behrman. Leclerc very close to the rear of Hamilton into turn 13. He might try to get that move done if Hamilton's not careful. As the gap between Piastri and Norris has balanced out a bit. So, never mind. Piastri's actually closing in a little bit. Antonelli could get that move done too. And Charles Leclerc is closing in on the rear of his teammate. Will he go for it? Oh, he's thinking about it. He's thinking of it not quite for Charles Leclerc this time around. As Kimi Antonelli goes up the inside of Oscar Piastri. Does he get the move done? He does get the move done into turn 14. As Charles Leclerc again very close to the rear of Lewis Hamilton. Could he get the move done? As Oscar Piastri is also very close to the rear of Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who I would imagine will want that position back as George Russell begins to open up a gap to Lewis Hamilton. 1.2 seconds now. Taking swigs from my water. Try to keep my voice going. As yes, now we're getting a replay of Max Verstappen on the start. Horrendous start from him. just got bogged down massively and basically passed by the entire field. Of course, excluding Alex Albon. And getting here we are, a replay of the collision between. Oh, that was 100% on Antonelli. Antonelli locked up the inside tire on the opening lap into turn 6 and just ran straight in the side of Hajar and gave him side damage. So I could reasonably see a penalty for Kimi Antonelli there. 5 or 10 seconds would be what I would expect. 10-second time penalty confirmed for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. That is devastating. That's nearly a position that will, I believe, drop him outside of the points currently, if my math stands up. Well, Charles Leclerc is closing on Lewis Hamilton. He has a look up the inside into turn 14, but Lewis Hamilton cuts it off. Antonelli now on Norris for P4. He's coasts his way up the inside and gets the move done. Norris likely told not to fight that one too hard because of the fact he knows Antonelli has a penalty, which, dare I say, Antonelli won't pull up that much of a gap. Antonelli's gap to the lead is now 2.9 seconds. Leclerc pulls to the inside, approaching the first corner. Lewis Hamilton tries to stick it on around the outside, but he can't quite manage it as Charles... Oh, they're very close. Charles Leclerc moves up into P2. Now 1.8 seconds off the leader, George Russell. This is some brilliant racing, as Antonelli sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:36.485. He's going to have to put in some mega laps now to try to make up that penalty. I could see a possible P7. Behrman is 8 seconds off Piastri, so I reckon he could probably sneak his way into P7. But both McLarens likely have the pace to hang on to him as we approach 10 laps remaining. Hamilton's tires, his front left has seen better days, to put it kindly. He's dropping quite far off Leclerc now, 0.7 seconds behind him, just through that middle sector alone, as Piastri is slowly closing in on Norris, and Norris is slowly dropping to Antonelli. Antonelli is closing in on Hamilton. Hamilton's going to have to be mighty careful he doesn't get caught. Leclerc is also closing up the gap to Russell a little bit. As we look further down the order, everyone from P9 Lawson, so P8 Hajar to P16 Hulkenberg are all within a second of each other. It'll be interesting to see if any of them can get a move done. Piastri just outside of a second off his teammate. Norris just a second off Antonelli. Hamilton a bit over a second off Leclerc. As he then begins to close up a bit in approaching the first corner. Has Leclerc used too much battery? Hamilton looks to the move around the outside. He can't quite go for it. He's 0.1 seconds off him now. He could go for it. He goes up the inside of turn 2. Leclerc, I can't quite. They're wheel to wheel. How was there not contact there through turn 3? They are so close. As we see Hamilton trying not to be forced wide. I think they're still side by side. No, Leclerc's held on to it. Hamilton has a look into turn 6. Leclerc defends it very late as Lewis Hamilton tries to get the move done. This is brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing. I don't care if it's only battery. This is masterful wheel-to-wheel racing from both of these drivers, the 7-time world champion and the hopeful champion to be Charles Leclerc. Look further down the order. Lawson's closing in on Hajar, who I would imagine be struggling with those soft compound tyres. We've got an onboard look at Hamilton's front left medium tyre, and he's struggling. As this has now brought Antonelli into the mix, who's only 0.6 seconds off Hamilton and has the impetus to try to get this move done, as Norris and Piastri clearly don't seem to have the pace of the Mercedes or the Ferraris. As we approach the back straight again, George Russell's 3.2 seconds down the road. He's looking quite comfortable. Dare I say that prediction for a sprint win for him will come into play. Antonelli closing in on Hamilton. Hamilton doesn't defend it, but Antonelli doesn't go for it. So they stay as they are, but Antonelli is mighty close to the back of Hamilton. Hamilton's 0.7 seconds off Leclerc. Can he get the move done into the first corner? He seems to like using a bit more battery into here than Leclerc does. As we see Antonelli going for the move on Hamilton. Hamilton defends. Hamilton, he just holds on to the positions. We see Leclerc complaining a little bit about that wheel-to-wheel etiquette as Lawson has made the move on Hajar for P8. That puts Lawson up into the points-paying positions for his first points of the season. Be rather exciting for him as the leaders approach turn 6. No moves so far. Hamilton out here fighting to get 2 sprint podiums back to back at the Chinese sprint race year to year, as the McLarens comfortably sit in the background. Hamilton's dropped massively to Leclerc in this middle sector. That could put him under pressure from Kimi Antonelli, who will, of course, have overtake mode because he's within a second down the back straight. Very similar to DRS, except for the fact that rather than it being the wings, it is the battery that gives that boost. Gasly is now in P10, closing on Hadjar for P9. Those soft compound tires clearly not working out. As Antonelli closes on Hamilton, he has a look. He doesn't go for it. Oh, as the screens glitch out for a minute. And for the minute, Lewis Hamilton holds onto his position. He's closing in on his teammate. Leclerc seems to be using battery a bit earlier, I would imagine, by how much Hamilton often seems to gain down the main straight. But Antonelli is also gaining on Hamilton. Will he go for the move? Not quite. Lawson gets the move done on Behrman for P7. Those hard compound tires holding up very nicely. That'll be 2 points currently for Liam Lawson, which will be very handy for him. As Hamilton and Antonelli approach the turn 6 hairpin, and they stay in the positions they are for the minute. We see Gasly in a window closing in on Hadjar for P9. He'll have to make another move on Behrman. Yes, those hard compound tires for Lawson are currently a brilliant choice. They currently made him best of the rest, who, of course, don't have a Mercedes, a Ferrari, or a McLaren underneath them. So that's the hard compound tires. Where are the other hard signs on the hard compound tires? Currently fighting Colapinto. Signs as he get the move done. Not quite. He has to stick behind him for the minute. So he's P15 and Alonso P18. So not looking too shabby for the hard compound runners, as Lindblad made the move on Bottas for the last position. We see the Russell now 4 seconds down the road as Antonelli pulls out to get the move done on Hamilton. Hamilton sticks alongside him. They're side to side and side by side into the hairpin. Antonelli gets the move temporarily, but I would imagine Lewis Hamilton will be looking to come back at him as soon as possible. Antonelli probably used a fair bit of battery there, so I would imagine Hamilton probably has a fair bit to come back at him. I'm not sure, though. They're not showing us any information on it, as Hamilton sticks behind him into turn 1. But could he get it done into turn 2 and turn 3? He's gotten a couple moves done there, fighting with Leclerc. As we see, Gasly's close to Hadjar. Sainz gets the move down on Colapinto now. Bortoleto passes Ocon for P11. It's all getting very racy out there. And Lindblad is, that's very unfortunate. Lindblad being told to box to retire the car as Ocon comes back on Bortoleto. Apologies. And Gasly is currently in a Red Bull sandwich with Hadjar ahead of him and Verstappen behind him. We'll be hoping to try to get past Hadjar and possibly catch Behrman to allow Gasly to score another point, as I would imagine Behrman and Gasly will be scrapping hard for those points pay for the lower places in the top 10 in the championship. Antonelli now within a second of Leclerc. However, Hamilton has managed to hang on to the back of him. We are on lap 12. George Russell is 4.2 seconds down the road from Charles Leclerc, who will likely be under pressure from Kimi Antonelli in the coming laps. As Gasly has now gotten the move done on Hadjar for P9. He is 1 position off the point, so he will be hoping to make his way up to there as soon as possible. As Antonelli is closing on Leclerc, he doesn't quite get the move done. We're approaching the final corner. Our big movers looking up and down the grid is Liam Lawson, who's made up 6 positions. He's currently in P7. That's a brilliant drive from Liam Lawson. Really wanted to make up after stalling on the grid and nearly causing the incident of the century last time out. Having a look. Currently, Antonelli's penalty will drop him to between Lawson and Antonelli as Sainz gets the move done on Bortoleto for P13. As Bortoleto suddenly seems to be dropping down the order. He was up in P11 for a minute, but he's now started to drop. As Antonelli has a look on Leclerc, he doesn't quite get the move done. I could see the possibility of by lap 19, Antonelli having gotten his way past. I could see him getting his way past Piastri to negate that 10-second penalty and only be dropped to P6. As we say, yellow flagged on track. I know. Audi, Nico Hulkenberg has stopped the car out on track. That'll likely be a virtual safety car. He stopped at the end of the main straight, as Bottas has also just been told to pit to retire the car. That's tragedy for Nico Hulkenberg. 2 events in a row as Verstappen and Hadjar go wheel to wheel. Verstappen, unsurprisingly, on those medium compound tyres, gets the move done. Hadjar possibly being told don't push it too hard, and especially with the possibility of a virtual safety car, they want to get Verstappen up as quickly as possible. Speaking of getting up the order, Kimi Antonelli, safety car. It's a full-blown safety car. George Russell's lead has just been evaporated, and this is terrible news for Kimi Antonelli with that 10-second penalty. He's just managed to get the move done on Charles Leclerc for P2, because now the entire field is practically going to bunch up. Oh, we've got people pitting. Russell pits, Antonelli pits, Leclerc pits, Hamilton pits. What will the McLarens do? Will the McLarens stay out, or will they risk it on used tyres? I'm waiting to see. As both McLarens are pitting, Norris is in. Is Piastri? I'm fairly certain everyone is coming in. If someone doesn't come in, this could be a massive gain from them. Of course, all teams having to double stack. McLaren could gain. Oh no, Lewis Hamilton's dropped out. Lewis has lost to Norris because of the fact they had to double stack. Norris has gained a position in the pit lane. And Leclerc has gained on Antonelli. And Norris has moved up to 3rd. Oh, Piastri and Antonelli are very close on the pit lane exit. That would have been tight. Lawson hasn't pitted. Lawson is up to P5 on those hard compound tyres. Of course, all those who have pitted are on the softs. Lawson currently P5. So our top 8 has shuffled around massively as Red Bull's double stack as well. As we're seeing Verstappen, not brilliant. 3.5 second stop. And yes, they didn't even have all the tyres ready for Hadjar. That held him massively. Hadjar's lost out insanely. So our positions now, our top 10 now are Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Lawson, Behrman, Antonelli, Piastri, Gasly, Ocon. This is massive for this race. Hopefully we'll get to see some racing. Of course, those who have not pit, Lawson, Behrman, Gasly, Ocon, Sainz, Bortoletto, and Alonso. Alonso is P13 in that Aston Martin. Pardon me. As both Cadillacs are currently sat in the pit lane. I know Bottas was retiring, but I do not know if Sergio Perez was retiring. Seeing a replay on board with Max Verstappen. Oh, Ocon pulled out to get a move on Bortoletto, but then didn't check for the possibility of Verstappen going up for a move behind. Seeing a big lock up there. Thought that was Verstappen. Verstappen's had a big old lock up on his mediums whilst fighting with Hadjar, which allowed Hadjar and Ocon to sneak up the inside of him. Of course, that's all been a bit negated now thanks to the virtual safety car. As then, this is some insane wheel-to-wheel battle. Ocon compromising Hadjar a bit. As Nico Hulkenberg is now getting out of the car. He looks to be all well, as I would imagine, considering he simply pulled off the road. I'm sorry to the Red Bull fans out there. Your boys are currently P14 and P17. So, of course, our big gains there, Lawson and Behrman, P5, P6 now. The question will be, can they hold on? Norris has gained P3, Leclerc has regained P2, and Antonelli is out of the points with that penalty currently. It's a safety car passing. We're now on lap 15. They are currently trying to get Hulkenberg's car up onto a crane as Bottas now confirmed retirement. Lawson has now made up 8 positions. Albon has made up 6. Sainz has made up 6. Alonso's made up 5. Antonelli's lost 5. Verstappen's lost 6. And Hadjar has lost 7. So not all has worked out. Seeing a replay of the Mercedes pit stop. Slow for Russell, I believe that was. Then Antonelli comes in. Oh, Antonelli served his penalty. That's why he's dropped down the order. I know, I understand that. Okay, so Antonelli is not out of the points. My apologies. I missed the fact he served his penalty. So he is in a net P7, which is very good because it means he's ahead of Piastri, which means that there's one less car you'll have to fight. Of course, Antonelli currently sat P7 with the fastest lap. Of course, Behrman and Lawson will be hoping This goes on for as long as possible, with Lawson having started P13, now P15, Behrman starting P9, now P6, both sitting them neatly in the points. I imagine both of them will struggle to hold up a hard-charging Antonelli on soft compound tyres, but I reckon they'll be in a comfortable P7, P8. Piastri will probably get past both of them too. Of course, Piastri was held up quite a lot in the pit stop because both Norris and Piastri were very close when they entered. As from the looks of things, they will go for another lap. Yes, Nico Hulkenberg's car is on the crane now, and they are terribly slowly hoisting it away. I swear I would have imagined they probably could have been going a bit faster. Oh, Esteban Ocon, what are you doing? Sorry, just watched Carlos Sainz nearly go straight into the rear of Esteban Ocon. Ocon, I'm Ocon saying that it was Sainz's fault. Of course, he's trying to avoid getting a penalty himself. But how quickly Bortoletto closed up on the pair of them would lead me to believe that Ocon has slammed his foot on the brakes a little bit. So he'll be hoping to not receive too harsh of a penalty. Ocon probably not going to be in the points, but I mean, who knows? Depends how this safety car restart goes. Of course, it'll be our first safety car restart with these cars, which could see, I would imagine not, they could see one driver with a hell of a lot battery on this safety car restart than another. Now, for a bet on a driver to have more energy than another, it would be the Ferraris over the Mercedes-powered cars. As we confirm, the safety car is ending. It will be in at the end of this lap, and we will go to green racing, and Russell will lead us. Leclerc is saying what happened in the last corner was the wheels. Was it a wheel spin or problem with the gearbox? So that's not good news for Charles Leclerc, who of course is currently sitting pretty in P2 and will likely want to stay there, as I believe, if my math is correct, he'll move up to P2 in the championship, passing Antonelli as it stands. We are on. It was just wheel spin confirmed. So Charles Leclerc is all good. We will have 3 laps of racing to end this sprint. Can Lawson and Behrman hold on in P5, P6? Probably not, considering they have a hard-charging Antonelli behind them. They're snaking their way through the turn 13. To see, again, Russell has 53% battery currently, and Leclerc has 71 as they go down the back straight. So this could be massive if Leclerc has a lot more battery recharge. They're all swerving, trying to get their tires up to temperature. Is Russell going for it? Russell, or not quite. He's not going for it just yet. But I believe he is about to. We go through turn 14. Oh, Leclerc has a massive slide off the exit of turn 14. That's massively compromised him. Russell's taken the opportunity, and he has bolted. Lando and Lewis are very close to each other. Lewis could get the move done down this main straight if he's smart about it. As we watch them snake through, Piastri's already jumped Antonelli. Antonelli's had a horrendous start. Wilson is also having a look on Hamilton on the used hard compound tyres, as that's a terrible restart for Charles Leclerc. He'll be hating that. Agile's gotten past Albon for P16 as he tries to recover what has been a horrendous sprint race. The gap out ahead is 0.9 seconds. Behrman is very close to the rear of Lawson. He's going to have to be very careful about that one, as we see a battle between Gasly and Ocon for P9. You best believe these two are going to push each other hard. Who is that? That is Hamilton, close to the rear of Norris. Behrman close to the rear of Lawson. Behrman could be finishing a P5 in this sprint if he's smart about it. Never mind, Piastri has gotten the move done on Behrman and will be looking to get past Lawson too. Piastri trying to get his soft compound tyres moving up the field. Norris really doesn't seem to have the pace, as Antonelli goes for a dive on Behrman into turn 12, but it doesn't quite work as they snake their way through turn 13. Russell is in the lead by 1.2 seconds. Behrman and Antonelli are going side by side through that corner. Is that going to work out, or is it going to end in tears? They're still side by side going down the back straight. Who's going to win this out? I can't tell because they're not showing us a good angle to display it. Hamilton looks for a move on Norris. Not quite. Piastri goes side by side with Lawson and gets the move done, and Antonelli gets the move done. And Piastri... Oh, Antonelli's claiming that Piastri overtook him before he was allowed to. That could be massive news, as Lewis Hamilton's insanely close to the rear of Norris. He's closing. Norris goes to the inside. Hamilton flies around the outside to get P3. Lewis Hamilton's back up onto the podium. Verstappen's worked his way up to 11th, and Hadjar's worked his way up to 15th. Leclerc's now close to 0.9 of 1 second off George Russell. Could he get a move done? Sergio Perez, 5-second time penalty. Not sure what for. Safety car infringement. That looks like a speeding penalty, I would guess. Antonelli gets the move done on Lawson, dropping Lawson down to P7 and Antonelli up to P6. Oh, but he's slow off the corner. Lawson could try to get the move done on him. He doesn't quite manage to get the move back. So that puts Lawson P7 and Behrman P8. Piastri is told to give the place back. He's made the move before the start finished straight. That just really shows how bad that restart for Antonelli was. Piastri will be trying to look to get it done in an advantageous position because he doesn't want to lose out too much time, because he'd like to let Antonelli pass and possibly try to get the move back done. I would imagine he'll maybe look to try to get Antonelli passed into the hairpin. They're going down the back straight now, approaching turn 14. Antonelli's closing. Piastri isn't defending particularly hard. Piastri's letting him pass. So Piastri will be hoping to get the move back done as Ocon and Gasly in the background are fighting so hard. Ocon goes up the inside and Verstappen takes the impetus and is now wheel to wheel with Gasly approaching the final corner. This isn't somewhere you want to mess up. Verstappen gets the move done. Ocon's up to P9. Hasser P8, P9 currently. As Alonso's dropped down the field to P18. Those hard compound tyres aren't holding up when we are on the final lap as Verstappen swings around the outside of Esteban Ocon for P9. If he can make his way up into the points, that would be a miracle. Ocon's coming back at him. Not quite. Charles Leclerc has the fastest lap of the race. He's 1.1 seconds off George Russell. I don't think he'll quite be able to get it. Piastri's close to the rear of Antonelli. He's going to want to try to get this move done too. George Russell continues to lead by 1.1 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton, a comfortable P3. He should finish there. Norris P4. Antonelli P5. Piastri P6, not too far off the rear of Antonelli after having to give that position back after overtaking too early on the safety car restart. That'll be a mistake he won't want to make again. Leclerc's closing in a little bit. He's probably saved up a lot of battery for this. Can he close it up? And Russell would have saved a lot of battery for this too because he's going to expect it. As they scream down the back straight, Leclerc's 0.8 seconds. He's closing and he's closing, but he's probably too far behind. This piece, 0.6 seconds. He's closing really, really quickly. It's going to be tight across the line, but he doesn't go for the move into the final corner. 0.6 seconds is the gap. I don't think he'll be able to get the move done. So once again, George Russell will open his championship lead by another 8 points as he crosses the line. George Russell wins the sprint as Charles Leclerc crosses home in second and Lewis Hamilton in P3. Lando Norris P4, Antonelli P5 as Lawson, Behrman and Verstappen so close across the line. But they all stay where they are. Piastri P6, Lawson P7 getting his first points of the season and Ollie Behrman wrapping up the points in P8. And Red Bull go pointless in the sprint race. That is a tragedy for Red Bull. P9 and P15 after starting P8 and P10. Ladies and gentlemen, what a race. If that is how every sprint race goes, you won't catch me complaining anytime soon. So a reminder, I'll go through the field. George Russell wins. Then Charles Leclerc 0.6 seconds off him. Lewis Hamilton third, getting his second sprint podium with Ferrari. Lando Norris P4, Antonelli P5, Piastri P6, Lawson P7, Behrman P8, Verstappen P9, Ocon P10, Gasly P11, Sainz P12, and they've removed the timing, so I can't tell you anymore because the YouTube stream stopped working. I'll get it up for you. I trust you can all read it. But ladies and gentlemen, what a sprint race. You had passing for the lead. It was competitive. Antonelli again having a bad start, which meant we got to see him fight up through the field. He'll be wanting to deal with that as soon as possible, because if he has that happen every single time, there is no universe where he will ever fight for this championship. At P5, he scored 3 points, so that's a 5-point loss in the sprint race to his teammate George Russell. Yeah, wow. So much racing there. That safety car really spiced up the end of that race. Oh, someone's got damage. There's debris down the back straight. A bit of me wonders, is that from Ocon and Gasly? Because they were pushing each other very, very hard. But yes, really, what a race. I would imagine Charles Leclerc, it was a bit hard done. If qualifying had gone a bit better for him, I could have seen him winning that race. But yes, clearly pitting was the right idea. Good to see that Ferrari have learned their lesson from their last mistake. George Russell on his in lap, waving to the fans. But really, a very, very skilled drive from him. I know a lot of people say that the overtakes are very artificial, but he has done an excellent job there. He was leading by nearly 6 seconds. I would have imagined it being about 7 seconds if it weren't for that safety car. It was clinical. It was a clinical drive. As you see Verstappen yanking on something on the side of his tire. That's concerning. He finished P9 outside of the points. I must say, I imagine it'll been quite a while since the last time Max Verstappen finished outside of the points in a sprint race. Might it have been Qatar 2024? Let me pull that up because I remember he had a mega fight with Nico Hulkenberg for a low position in that sprint. So that might have been the last time. If not, I don't know if he's ever finished outside the points in a sprint race. I can't think of any other time because he's won nearly every sprint race he's participated in. Let me get that up for you all. Sprint results. No, Verstappen finished P8. So that might be Verstappen's worst finish in a sprint race. I would say that's a very good possibility. I do not have the stat off the top of my head. The current championship leader, George Russell, getting out of his car, giving a wave to the fans in what I would imagine is quite a good mood, getting ready for qualifying later today. Charles Leclerc from the P6 on the grid, I would imagine he should be relatively happy with a P2 finish, considering it could have been a lot worse for him. But yes, I've gotten the stream up. I'm curious to see all of your comments. What do we have to say about this sprint race? What did we all think? Because personally, I know I got quite into it. It was to the wire. There was some hard racing. Hamilton got some brilliant moves done around the outside for into turn 1. So once that loads for me, I can have a mini debrief with all of you. Charles is clearly faster than Lewis. I'd say, yeah, I think Lewis burnt out his tires very quickly. Seeing a replay here. Oh, well, that's bits of Checo's car flying off. That's what the debris was down the back straight. Oh, wow, that's a big bit of car that's just flown off. Very concerning. That's 2 race sessions in a row that we've had things literally blow off the Cadillac. So they want to be trying to improve their structural integrity. Reaffirms the pecking order: Merck, Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, distant 4th. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I mean, this is a bit of hopium here, but Haas were really fast approaching the end there. Ocon was getting racy. And Ehrman, of course, a strong, P7, was it? P8, sorry. No, behind Lawson. Lawson again, P2. Sorry, not P2. 2 points P7. That's very handy from him. Set the alarms for quali? Yes. Piastri was solid today. Yes, of course, Piastri also getting his first points on the board with a P6 finish that will earn him 3 points, which, of course, I'm sure he would like to have a couple more points, but I'm sure he will score those tomorrow. I would likely say he could have held on to that position ahead of Antonelli if he just waited a couple more seconds before overtaking him down the main straight on the safety car restart. Yes, 3 hours and 15 minutes until qualifying. I will peace out now, but I will see you all then. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating this sprint race for you all. Been watching these guys go wheel to wheel, and my internet seems to have gotten its act together, so hopefully it'll be a little bit smoother come qualifying. Bye all.